Hey folks, Dave here, and today I'm going to be trying out Total War Arena at long last. Big thanks to the Total War Arena devs for reaching out and offering an invitation to try the game out, and for helping the channel out by sponsoring this video. If you guys want to try this game for yourself, it is totally free to play, and if you use the link in the description, you not only get some starting out resources right off the bat, but of course you help this channel out as well in the process without really having to do anything, then try it out for free. Now you guys know I've been playing Total War games for, well, a long time. This Total War game is a PvP multiplayer focused Total War. The idea is to take those massive Total War battle scenarios and have 10 commanders on each side, all throwing their units into one massive fight all together. The key here is you're going to have a commander and then only 3 units that you actually deploy into the fight. This means that you're going to have to communicate very carefully with your other teammates in order to win the fight. To help introduce you guys to the game, we're going to work together as a team and focus on an AI fight for today. Then I'm going to follow up with some PvP gameplay in a second episode. Because after all, that is the bread and butter, right? Before we dive into battle mode, you can see my units down here at the bottom. I'm starting out with the Roman faction. This faction focuses on mostly brute force, so they're a bit easier to use to get a handle on the base game mechanics. As you guys can see though, the game does have quite a few other factions and commanders that you can pick from, including the Greeks and the barbarians, and as you might expect, each faction has its own strengths and weaknesses. As an example, the barbarian faction is very good at using tree cover and forest on the battle maps to their advantage. Again though, let's start things out with the Romans just because they're a bit more straightforward. I've got some level 1 units here, just a couple units of swordsmen. I've also swapped out and gotten some Tyrones, which are ranged javelin men.
On to victory!
If you guys are familiar with the Total War battle system, you're going to be very comfortable here in Total War Arena. You've got the same concept where the direction that your troop groups are facing is extremely important. You're going to want to watch for flanking, and as you're maneuvering to perhaps reinforce an ally in the fight, always be careful about which way your units are facing and watch for attacks from behind. Now the crazy thing about playing against other people compared to playing against AI in the more traditional Total War games is, and again we're playing against AI here, not players yet, but when you're actually playing players, they can make a lot more efficient use of small holes in your line and really exploit weaknesses in your strategy. Whereas the AI in the single player game is a bit limited in their micro strategy, if you will. All of the factions, generals, and maps in Total War Arena are based off of different historical scenarios, kind of combined all into one giant playing field. So we're going to have, it looks like, mostly Romans here, but there's a couple of barbarians and some Greece fighters also on our team. So it's not necessarily historically accurate, but it's just a big melting pot of a bunch of different historical options to make the PvP battles work. So I've got my javelin men here. I'm going to keep them on the right. We're going to move along the left ridgeline here. Looks like the core of my team went for a center deployment. They're getting cavalry charged. I'm going to sprint my units so I can hopefully hit these guys from the side. Now one really cool thing that's been added in Total War Arena that I would love to see in the other Total War games is the ability to line troops up along cliff sides like that right there. Reminds me of the alignment for fort battles in the base Total War games, but it just works a bit better because those fort pathfinding scenarios are usually a bit rough in the main Total War games. We got a huge mass of troops in front of us, and our teammates behind us haven't moved yet, so I'm going to actually hold here. Okay. We can't fire from that cliffside. I'm going to go ahead and move left. We do have some light projectile options with our swordsmen. Here we go. Here's some backup. So this is where timing is really key. We're going to try and help our teammates out here with a couple of nice charges into the flank of the enemy. Javelins are getting some really nasty hits there.
We're under attack! Charge! Leave no survivors!
I'm going to do a heavy infantry charge there. We are now committed. Gonna move you guys around here, hit these extra swordsmen in the back. Actually, let's hit these guys in the side, because we are outnumbered here. This guy's got a bunch of ranged options. Alright, I'm performing some friendly fire, it looks like. I think these guys walked in front of my javelin men. Okay. I got some friendly fire there from one of my teammates as well. I like that because you really got to be careful with your ranged soldiers. That was a good start right there. I'm going to make a shift left with my javelin men, capture this watchtower, and figure out how things are looking. But we've got a number of fights happening down here in the forest. If you zoom in and take a look. Oh yeah. I think the enemy is slightly outnumbered, but that battle is still a bit too close to call, so I'm going to head that way to reinforce. We do have some cavalry charging up. So I'm going to spread out just a bit. And we're going to start with a weapon throw against their cavalry here. And we've captured the watchtower. A bunch of the fog of war has been lifted, and it looks like the AI went in for a full-on charge here. So we've got to capture their base, but it's been abandoned. Alright, let me help this guy out over here. Morale is high, and the unit is confident. It does have the morale system much like the main Total War games, so your objective is not necessarily to completely wipe out a unit of enemy forces, but to get them to rout, at which point you can then cut them down as they retreat. So we're just going to add to the melee there. Oh, I was wrong. We've got quite a few guys left back here. Start with some javelin throws. I'm going to get my other swordsmen to come on up this way. There we go. We ambushed these guys out of the swamps. Caught them by surprise.
The enemy base will soon be ours.
Let's pull back just a bit into the swamps. Alright, these guys are routing. Let's get all my swordsmen heading in. So it looks like the tower does have some limitations on its line of sight, because we also missed these guys here in the swamps. They were very well hidden. Full on knockdown, drag out melee fight happening here at the edge of the camp. Let's see if I can get over on the side of it here. And here you go. You can see that an ally has come to reinforce me, because I am taking a lot of losses here. That's cool. The grass fades out so you can see a bit more of what's going on. I'm currently pinned between my teammate and the enemy in the swamp, so my javelin men are most likely going to fall here.
Let Bellona lead your blade.
There we go. We're going to slam right into the side of their units here. Yep. My javelin men have just about fallen over here. I'm going to reinforce my own unit over here. Get some revenge in before the end of this match. As you guys can see at the top, the battle is very, very much in our favor. Let's use one of our abilities here, Jab, which orders the unit to strike the nearest enemy, dealing damage and knockback, but reducing speed for a while. Speed won't be an issue because the rest of this fight is 100% happening right here in the camp. There we go. I might be able to save my unit here. Let's use knockback on them as well. Nice. Pushed him back, captured the base. That's how the game works against AI. Some pretty solid teamwork there. I got reinforced a few times, and I was able to reinforce my teammates quite a few times as well. Alright. Got some additional experience for my troops, and some of the currency which is used for ranking your troops up. Got a few decorations. Dealt a couple of final blows, it looks like. Got one successful ambush achieved. And routed at least one enemy unit. That's cool. There's an achievement for preventing an allied unit from routing by arriving just in time, it looks like. To wrap things up for this introduction, I want to show you guys how the tech tree works. Now, if you want to fight actual players, which I want to do for the next video, you're going to have to be at least tier 3. So you're going to want some tier 3 units. I believe the requirement is to have at least one tier 3 unit in your battle configuration, one of your 3 troops right here, ready to fight. To upgrade your troops, you're going to want to click on each one, and you're going to have some options that you can spend experience and silver on to add some additional options for those troops. In my case right here, I've been able to upgrade a number of things, including their swords and shields, and here, if I want a heavier duty shield, I'm going to need to get 1100 XP, and I'm currently sitting at 546, so I can't spend that just yet. Once you've completely upgraded your units, you can then upgrade to the next tier. However, to get to tier 3, your commander is going to have to be tier 3 as well. To get your commander to tier 3, you're going to have to just keep playing, keep gaining experience and XP, and eventually you'll get to that tier 3, get those tier 3 armies unlocked, and then you'll be able to play those 10 versus 10 battles against real players and see how your strategies hold up. I am curious to see, after so many years of playing the standalone Total War games, how my strategies do stack up against real people, so stay tuned for the next episode where I'm gonna find out. For now, hope you guys have found this useful. Don't forget, if you want to try the game for yourself, just hit the link right there in the description and get your free-to-play account set up. For now, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all next time.